Anthony Edwards has shown time and time again why he will be amongst the greats one day. As a 21-year-old, he had a phenomenal regular season, averaging 24.6 points per game, 5.8 rebounds, 4.4 assists, while also grabbing 1.6 steals per game. That type of production has risen tremendously in the playoffs in both years he has played. In this year's first-round matchup against Denver, Anthony Edwards has been absolutely electric in the 4 games that he's played. In Game 4, the Minnesota Timberwolves were on track to possibly have one of the worst playoff losses in NBA history. With 2 minutes and 52 seconds remaining, Anthony Edwards hit a pull-up jumper to put the team out 12 points. What happened after this was remarkable. The Nuggets came out of a timeout guns blazing and would score 11 points on 4 straight possessions, which will make it a 1-point game. A 12-point lead evaporated in a matter of minutes, and then Karl Anthony Towns put Jokic on the free throw line with 12 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. Fortunately for Minnesota, Jokic splits a pair, and they will be headed for OT. In overtime, it was a back-and-forth affair until Anthony Edwards had his opportunity to put a stamp on his great night.
Gordon defends on a switch, crossover, 3, he's got it! This kid is a live wire.
Anthony Edwards just had his 3rd straight 30-plus point performance in the playoffs against the 1 seed in the West, a team favored to represent the West in the NBA Finals. Minnesota managed to crawl out of Target Center in one piece, and now they head to Denver down 3-1. It would be easy for a 21-year-old to gloat after his 3rd straight incredible performance, but he offered this to say instead.
I don't know, man. I went to Cat House last night, had a great conversation with him, so I knew he was going to come out with energy. He did a great job on Jokic. I mean, Jokic tough cover. He did a great job, and, Nikhil, Mike Conley, they made big shots in the overtime, and Rudy played his ass off, and we can ask for more.
For a player who was questioned about his maturity, his mentality, his work ethic, all of the bad buzzwords you could possibly think of, Edwards has been a team first, winning first type of guy all season long, regardless of how well he's been playing as an individual. When you take a deeper dive into Anthony Edwards' numbers, you can just see how well he stacks up with the greats in NBA history. There are only 4 other players in the entirety of NBA history to reach the regular season statistical averages at the age of 21 or younger that Ant has had. The 4 are LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Michael Jordan, and Tracy McGrady. That's it. Amongst these guys, a lot of all-star selections, a lot of all-NBA selections, a lot of MVP chatter, and most importantly, a lot of winning. The next decade could play out in a myriad of ways, but things are looking good. It gets even crazier when you look at the current playoff run that Ant is having. There are only 4 other players who have ever averaged at least 30 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists in a playoff series at the age of 21 or younger. Luka Doncic did it twice, Trace McGrady did it once, LeBron did it once, and Ja Morant did it once. And amongst all of these guys, Anthony Edwards has been by far the most efficient with a 63 true shooting percentage, while averaging 32 points a game, 4 rebounds, and nearly 5 assists. Anthony Edwards was selected 1st overall in the 2020 NBA Draft. A very popular draft looking back, as the LaMelo Ball hype was transcending the NBA landscape. I think it's safe to say that the Minnesota Timberwolves made the right decision. The biggest test for Minnesota going forward is managing the roster around him. Regardless of the outcome of the rest of the series, I do not believe that this currently constructed roster is the answer moving forward. The Wolves did themselves a number with the Rudy Gobert trade, as I recently talked about that in another video that you guys should go watch. Anthony Edwards will just be turning 22 in August, and this young man's future is bright. I just hope for the Minnesota fans that this time around, they do it right.